So guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Black Eagle, right? The Object 640 that was a pretty interesting Russian project that was developed in the 90s, right? To pretty much just basically have a next generation of MBT, right? It is one of those projects that basically was, going along with other projects like even the 29R2, right? Which is the one that you see on the screen right now. So yeah, it is basically a prototype that was developed in the 90s that is introducing a lot of next-gen stuff for MBT, right? And guys, of course, as you remember, this was leaked back in the day, right? So a very kind of while back, this thing was leaked by the main leakers that we normally talk about in the channel, right? And they were saying that it would be the summer event and then later even a winter event, that it's the next event after the R400 one, right? So it would make sense to actually see these in a very soon future, right? The Black Eagle, right? The Object 640. But the thing is, guys, I was actually looking on the forum and trying to find stuff, and I found that some people were talking about this clip that you are seeing on the screen. This is from the live server, the dev server, sorry, dev live stream, sorry, from the previous update before the last one, Spearhead, that we had, right? Where they introduced the bug, for example, and many others. And as you'll see, I mean, you can go back and see it, but you have the translation there. They were speaking Russian. This is BVD, of course, on the left there, and which is one of the main lead developers there. And basically, he was talking about the Black Eagle back in this in his live stream, right? Talking about how it was kind of difficult to actually add something like the Black Eagle because mainly they couldn't confirm that it could actually fire. So the problem is that the vehicle actually existed and you could drive it around, but they couldn't confirm if the cannon was actually functional. It was a very early iteration of a prototype. What was exactly working, what wasn't working, and because of that, Gaijin is basically trying to stay away from the Object 640, the Black Eagle, right? Which is contradicting with the leaks that we had. So is it actually one or the other that is true? Well, guys, to be honest, the leakers, although they are almost every time correct, at the end of the day, BVD is one of the official sources of information about what is upcoming for the game. So if he's saying that they are not working seriously on it, or something similar to that, right, that they're not properly working on the vehicle like that, then maybe the idea is floated around on the office, maybe. That's kind of my interpretation of this, right? But at the end of the day, they're not really making the vehicle, and it was a very short period of time before, this video, for example. It means that we probably will not see the Object 640 as the next event vehicle, okay? Which is kind of sad, but could we see this thing? Well, it actually kind of brings a lot of questions here, guys. What is the actual problem? Well, the vehicle, like I said, it would be kind of okay even to add. I mean, you would use a 125mm gun, the 2A46, right? You would, of course, have auto-loading systems, Contact 5, the Cactus ERA, and there were plans of introducing, for example, the Arena APS or something like that, right? So, yeah, a very standard tank that would be the next generation of tank based off of a T80, basically, right? So there's nothing too broken here. We can actually see this thing and it would be okay. The question that we need to answer here, guys, and that's the objective of the video, is to talk about if we should see the Black Eagle, to be honest, okay? Because the Black Eagle, guys, at the end of the day, it is one of those vehicles that it's somewhat similar to the Yak 141. And it's been something of a talk for a very long time, right? Vehicles like the Yak 141 are problematic to add, but at the same time, it makes sense that sometimes they want to add these vehicles. So why is that? Well, the Yak 141 example is that vehicle never was in service, right? It was actually just some prototypes that they did, but in real life, they actually went with the tests. They actually started the very initial production idea of the vehicle. So, for example, They actually started to build the machines, the tooling, basically on the factories to be able to build the first ones. And some fuselages were already built, and of course it was already approved by the Soviet state to actually be into service and in production, right? And because of all these things, they brought, for example, the famous IRST that the Yak-141 uses, that a lot of people complain that he has, right? So maybe having this vehicle added, but then having it with the IRST raises a lot of questions, right? The community has a lot of questions about it, and because of that, it kind of makes you wonder. So it's kind of the same principle, right? You see an Object 640 over here, that it's a very interesting vehicle that would be insanely interesting to actually just play with it. But at the same time, it is a vehicle that wasn't ready, just like the Yak-141 wasn't. And it was less ready even than the Yak-141, to be honest. And yeah, with that in mind, I mean, it's almost the same principle as the IRST, right? They added the Yak-141, even though the prototype didn't have an IRST, they actually added one with IRST in the game. At the same time, the Black Eagle, they couldn't confirm the gun was working, they couldn't confirm how far on was the actual project, but at the same time, I mean, the gun already exists in the game. It's the same gun that you see in other Russian tanks, right? So at the same time, you could actually see this thing just having the gun and working. You know, they just need to want to do that. And it kind of feels like a double standard, doesn't it? While one vehicle, I mean, both are Russian vehicles, but at one time, you can even see other examples. I'm giving Russian examples here, but you can actually see other examples of prototypes and stuff, paper vehicles even, that were added with less information than what they had with the 640, right? So it's problematic, I would say, right? So in my opinion, guys, I think it would be okay to see, you know? We already have kind of a push on the terms of realism, like if it's a realistic thing to add certain vehicles with working things or not. We already crossed that bridge, okay? So it kind of doesn't matter. So if we cross that bridge already, we already have vehicles that are in a similar way added to the game. Wouldn't it be okay to have the Black Eagle because of that, right? You like to have kind of a single standard instead of a double standard. What it feels like a double standard. So there's the question, right? So for me personally, I think it's okay and we could see it. But honestly, we will not see it for now. This is the official information, right? So at the end of the day, I need to basically ask you the question. Do you think we should or we could see the Black Eagle, the Object 640 being added to the game without breaking any rules of additions or something, right? Let me know in the comments what you think. This is my opinion, but yeah. See you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye guys, see you.